Hello, this is National Chess Master RRats continuing my video series on the correspondence team match played between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 165. Our man is PT22064 against Barbaros Rice. The match is winding down. The score is now 297 to 115, so there are only 8 games to be played to be completed, and on 6 boards, so we're waiting. Probably by the end of the year they'll all be in. That's my guess. Um, anyway, this is one of the themes of this match seems to be these rook pawn moves that I've discovered that everyone is making. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people are making, which has prompted me to write my article on how to play the openings, my video. Players are pushing their rook pawns up to keep bishops and knights out of these squares. And I tell the story on the video how I theorized this came about. And again, no grandmaster suggests moving your rook pawns early, okay? It's not in any book. It's not recommended. This is an internet-created defense, I believe, and it's just simply bad. And I looked through the game history of Barbaros Rice, and he does this every game. So I'm making a suggestion to you, not to insult you, but you need to stop this and just develop pieces. If you play the opening correctly, allowing bishops and knights there will do your opponent absolutely no good, will be a total waste of time. And by making these moves, you're not only creating weaknesses on these, let me get rid of the colors, creating weaknesses on these squares. That's 2 pieces that you're not getting developed. And when your piece, come on, color that last square, there you go. When your pieces don't get developed, they're not in the game to help you out. I will promise you, Barbaros Rice, if you stop moving your rook pawns up and develop a piece instead, your rating will probably go up 50 to 100 points very quickly, which will in turn help you because you'll get paired against better players and you'll learn more. Okay, this is all in my video lessons program. Fix what's wrong with your game, go up in rating, play stronger players, get even stronger. I invite you to watch the video. It's linked in the team match page. It's just a bad idea, and as it turns out, these rook pawn moves that he makes in the 2 games, each one creates a weakness which is exploited by his opponent. Okay, let's have a look at these 2 games. And now here comes the first one, h3. Okay, Black has just developed his bishop to f5. He's not going to put it on g4, and if he does, it's a loss of tempo. This knight can't get to g4, okay, by that path. There's a pawn blocking it. If you consider putting it this way, well, if you want, you can double the pawns, okay? And what's the knight going to do once it gets there? Nothing. So this is a wasted move. An interesting move is actually place it to h4. The idea behind this is to play g4 and try and trap the bishop in, okay? But h3 is not a good move, okay? You've basically handed Black a free move here. So Black, now I'm not criticizing this move. This is making a haven for the bishop so it doesn't get bothered. This is a common theme. Okay, so let's move forward. And now they're basically playing through the opening. Now this locks up the center. And another thing I like to add about moving those rook pawns up, you can consult chess books and databases to find the correct place, the correct moves, so you can actually learn openings in correspondence chess and don't have to rely on playing your own inventions. It's true what you do gets your opponent out of book because it's not common to run these rook pawns up, but you're sacrificing your position for it, as well as not learning proper chess openings and the unfolding strategies that come about. Okay, let's move forward. There's the other pawn. Now, was Black planning to put this bishop here? Well, what good does it do? The knight's not pinned. It can move if you don't want double pawns, or White could develop a piece and protect it. Was Black planning to put a knight here? Well, not really. Yeah, there's a threat here, but look for a moment. This knight is pinned, okay? See, can't move. It's going to take Black 3 moves before he can even unpin that knight, okay? Knight, well, let's see. Where are you going to put the bishop first? Huh. So the more than that for Black to castle. See, the bishop, if the bishop goes to e7, the knight can't get out, right? If the knight goes to e7, then it's got to back up to c8. Then you can bring the bishop out. Then you can castle. And now maybe you're threatening knight b4. So black is not trying to get knight b4 in, okay? And besides, a simple way to defend this, here, let me just show you. Just develop a piece, okay? Now, let's assume this is not pinned, okay? If black can play knight b4, rook c1, cover c2, you love it if black takes, because you pick up 2 minor pieces for the rook with a winning position, okay? Your 2 minor pieces will eventually start winning pawns, and you'll win the ending, okay? And besides, black can't even play the knight to b4. It's pinned. So a3 is not a good move. Doesn't help your development, and this move is going to prove White's undoing, as we will see in just a few moves. Okay, so they keep developing their pieces, and even now, even if the pawn wasn't on a3, b4 is not a square that black wants to put his knight. Okay, let's go forward. And now we're going to see here's a problem now too. When this pawn goes to c3, now nothing is protecting b3. You would love to have this pawn on a2 in this situation. The pawn belongs on a2. Okay? And we'll see what goes wrong here in a few minutes, or a few moves, I should say. And there it is. There's an immediate threat of putting the knight into b3 with a fork. And White overlooks it, and now there it is. And black is winning material, and he's even going to win more material than you might expect. Now there's both rooks are under fire. So black is picking up a decisive material advantage. Now, take this rook first. This rook still remains under attack. Black is going to be down or ahead of rook. Okay, there goes the other one. Now he's up 2 exchanges. Okay, decisive advantage. And pretty much for the most part, this game just winds down with not much happening, although White did miss a chance to win a little material back. So you got to always be alert. We'll see that when we get there. Here, White can win back an exchange with knight f4. See, the point is on rook g5, the knight can take on e6 with a fork, and if the rook goes to f6, the bishop will take it. So White missed his chance to get a little material back, but it would still be a losing position for him, and it's just a matter of time and attrition now, and pieces start coming off, and there's nothing White can do about it, really. And now White gets ready to make Black gets ready to make a sacrifice here in just a moment. Well, actually, it's not a sacrifice. He's going to be able to trade his rook for those 2 minor pieces and get everything off the board. See, there we go. There goes one. That was defending f4. And there goes the last white pieces. And Black is comfortably winning. White should resign here. I notice Barbaros Rice plays everything out. Well, if it was by postcard, it would be annoying. But you never know. Maybe your opponent will time out, and you pick up an easy win. But Black is clearly winning. And here I thought he would just take the pawn. He doesn't. He blocks, but it doesn't really matter. White's winning, or Black's winning in all variations. And now there's no stopping Black from getting a queen, and a checkmate will quickly ensue. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. And White's running out of moves. He could bring his king up to d4, but it doesn't really matter. And that Black would still find a quick checkmate. And now the game ends in a mate. And there you have it. So the culprit a3, Black had no intention of ever going to b4, and b3 proved to be fatal. Okay, let's bring up the other game. And what move number will it commence at? Let's find out. It's supposed to start at the beginning, but we never know. Look at that, move 8. Why does it pick that? Okay. So here we go. Uh-oh. On the second move. Okay. Now, this is just a horrible move. White hasn't even dictated how he's going to open the game yet, and White could try to find a line that's favorable when Black has wasted time with his H6. There's no need to play it. White's not planning to put anything on G5. Okay, there's no reason in the world to put a knight on G5, at least at this stage. There's no reason yet to put a bishop on G5. And there's no threat. This bishop is not even close to being on C4 menacing F7. So your move is just plain bad. You need to develop pieces instead. Okay? All right, so let's move forward. And now White kicks the bishop back. And keeps developing. Now White's picking up a space advantage. And here comes the other rook pawn move. There's no need. There's no need for this. See these pieces? They need to get in the game. Okay, they're not helping. There's nothing to be gained by White putting a knight on B5. His bishop can't go there. This move doesn't make sense. Now maybe if you want to break with B5 later, yeah, it does. But develop your pieces first and figure out where your pieces need to be headed, and how do you want to deploy them. Then maybe the B5 plan can work. But A6 is just a waste of time. And White's got a space advantage now. And look at that. Now the pawns are advanced and Black can start taking pot shots at them, but at the same time, Black's got two meekly developed pieces. He's 4 moves from castling on the king side, and he's 3 moves from castling on the queen side. Move one of these center pawns so the queen can get out, and then move the queen and then castle. White's having his way here. Okay, uncovered an attack on the knight, so the knight comes back to safety. And, White's nice and centralized. White's not getting developed either, but he's got some space here. And now this move creates a weakness on D6. That's a permanent weakness, and there's a permanent outpost on D5. And once again, there's that B6 square, weak. The A6 pawn is no longer covering it. And once again, this is going to prove fatal. We'll see when we get there. Okay. So now Black decides to castle queenside. And now comes this seems to be a blunder. Seems like White can strike right. Oh no, he has to castle first. Okay. But here Black makes a mistake and doesn't realize the strength of knight D6 or knight D5, forking these two pieces. So Black misses that, didn't guard his bishop, and now White's going to win material. And the queen must get out of danger. The bishop falls with check. White's a full piece up. Okay. And now the knight comes back to D5, its permanent outpost. Goes after a target on B6. And now Black notices this pawn is loose, but also fails to realize this knight is loose. And Black steps into a fork. And that's what White plays, but why not just take the knight? Bishop takes B6, attacks the rook, and you're winning a second piece. But Black's going to oblige White anyway. But he tries knight E7. Now he takes the rook, and Black didn't bother to pick up the knight protect the knight on B6. And here once again, the fact that this pawn is on A6 denies Black a chance to get his piece back. So Black is now behind a rook and a bishop with a hopeless game. And he continues to play on, and White just tries to break open the position, make exchanges, and go after the Black king. And that's what's going to happen here. Charge, here we go. And thanks for the free pawn. And Black decides he doesn't want to trade queens, but the drawback is that this allows a back rank mate. And Black must now trade queens and be mated in one move. So he resigned. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see. So here's this rook pawn move played on move 2. What good did it do? White never directed his attention in that direction. And this pawn moved up pretty quickly, and it weakened that b6 square. So, the rook pawn moves are just simply not good. And, I invite you to develop pieces instead and get better results in your chess games. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Waiting the next result. Not sure when it'll come. It's been kind of quiet, but as I said, there's only 8 games left. And I'll make videos for our teammates, my teammates that score 1 point or more when those games are completed. I know some of them have won one game and they're still playing their second. I need that second game to finish before I make any video. All right, well, thanks so much.